Hey everyone, welcome back! Hope you're having an incredible day wherever you're watching from around the globe. Let's jump straight into XRP, and this is getting interesting. Looking at today's chart, we're sitting at $2.17 right now. XRP popped into the green earlier today, moving right along with the rest of the market, which is always a good sign. Now here's what's really catching my attention. When you zoom out to the weekly view, we're almost back to where we were just last week, bouncing around that $2.20 level. I'm definitely hoping we see XRP keep climbing from here. I've been scrolling through the comments and I'm seeing so much excitement. People saying, "We're finally back!" and "This is it, the moment we've all been waiting for." Look, I totally understand the hype, but here's my honest take. I think we might be celebrating a little too early. We haven't even gotten back to where we were last week yet, so let's see what happens next before we pop the champagne. And here's something else that's got everyone talking. Bitcoin just pushed back above $91,000. The Bitcoin maximalists are absolutely buzzing right now, thinking this is their golden moment. But then you've got this other crowd already writing off 2025, saying crypto's finished for the year, and we should just wait until 2026. Here's where I completely disagree with that pessimistic view. I've been watching these markets long enough to know that crypto has this crazy habit of just exploding when you least expect it. No big announcement, no major catalyst, literally nothing. Then suddenly, boom! The entire market just takes off like a rocket. So here's what's happening right now. The market is absolutely crushing it. And guess what? Tether saw this golden opportunity and decided to print another billion USDT out of nowhere. Now, we all know exactly where that freshly minted Tether is heading, don't we? Yep, you guessed it. Straight into pumping Bitcoin's price even higher. But here's where things get really sketchy, and honestly, this breaks down the entire reason the market just shot up in the first place. Check this out. Wintermute just scooped up over 8,500 Bitcoin. Binance grabbed almost 7,700. Then we've got whale wallets, Coinbase, BitMEX, Bitfinex. They're all buying massive amounts at the same time. Does this sound like a coincidence to you? Because it sure doesn't to me. This looks like straight-up coordinated manipulation. And get this, just days ago, these exact same players were dumping tons of Bitcoin, which sent the market crashing down. Now suddenly, they're all buying back in together, and boom, the market rockets up again. That's exactly why I keep saying, even though Bitcoin looks incredible right now, how long do you think this is going to last before they pull the rug again? We've been watching this same pattern repeat over and over throughout this entire cycle. Just when we think we're about to see some serious gains, either some crazy world event happens, or we get hit with another round of market manipulation. The analysts are saying Bitcoin could hit new highs by 2026. But with all this manipulation happening, can we really trust these moves? So Grayscale is pushing this narrative too. And here's what's really happening. All of a sudden, everyone's saying there's this new story that absolutely nothing major is going to happen in crypto until next year. But let me break down what they're really telling you. Hey, why don't you just sell everything now and come back after New Year's? Don't fall for it. Seriously, don't do that. Here's the thing I've learned from watching this market. Whenever these big players start saying nothing's going to happen, that's exactly when everything explodes. They're trying to shake you out of your positions right before the real action starts. And you want to know what's really going on behind the scenes? Right now, these ETF issuers are quietly buying up massive amounts of XRP because the money is still flowing in. They want to load up on as much XRP as they can while the price is still low. Think about it. Why would they be accumulating if they really believed nothing was going to happen? The smart money is moving, and they're hoping you're not paying attention. This post from INIC XBT is absolutely perfect because it's exactly what I've been trying to tell you all along. The people who panic sold during that crash, I guarantee you they're already kicking themselves right now. And here's why I'm so confident about that. Think about it. Panic selling never happens because of careful analysis or smart strategy. It's pure emotion taking over. When fear hits, logic goes right out the window. These panic sellers dumped their bags right into those scary red candles, right at those liquidation wicks, which is exactly where the smart money was quietly scooping everything up at discount prices. It's like they handed their crypto over to the whales on a silver platter. The smart money loves when retail investors get scared because that's when they can accumulate at the best prices. So while panic sellers were running for the exits, the institutional players were backing up the truck and loading up. That's the difference between emotional trading and strategic thinking right there. They didn't sell because their chart analysis told them it was time to go. Nope, they sold because their nerves completely cracked under pressure. Don't be that person. He goes on to talk about all the market manipulation we're seeing, which is exactly what I keep breaking down for you. When those big red days hit and everyone around you starts freaking out and panic selling, that's your cue to stay calm and not follow the crowd. Remember, you know what you're holding when you've got XRP in your portfolio. This is where you've got to check your emotions at the door and think logically. And here's something super important. Never put in more than you can afford to lose. Because if you're overinvested, you're going to lose patience way too fast, especially with how wild and unpredictable this market is right now. But here's the thing. If you can stay patient and keep your emotions in check, you can absolutely make it to the finish line. You can achieve that financial freedom everyone's talking about. You can be there when XRP hits those life-changing prices we all believe are coming. The key is not getting caught up in all the negativity and fear. That's exactly why I'm here every single day trying to keep you motivated and focused on the bigger picture. Because I genuinely believe that when this breakout finally happens, all this patience and discipline will pay off big time. I really do want all of us to win together in this. So there's this expert breaking down 3 reasons why XRP supposedly failed to hit its bullish targets for 2025. But wait a minute. They're talking like 2025 is already over. We've still got time left, people. Let me walk you through their points and give you my take on each one. First, they're saying the SEC versus Ripple case resolution came too late. Since it wrapped up in August, they claim XRP didn't have enough runway to recover. Second point, they think the XRP ETFs arrived too late to make an impact this year. And third, they're pointing to the Clarity Act still being stuck in pending status. But here's where I think they're missing the bigger picture. When we finally get that Clarity Act passed, and we will, that's going to be absolutely game-changing for XRP. We're talking about opening the floodgates for institutions that have been sitting on the sidelines. I'm telling you, we're going to see names jumping into this space that we've never even heard of before, and they're going to be locking away massive amounts of XRP. As for the ETFs, I actually think the timing was perfect. They had to position these ETFs to launch right before the Clarity Act gets the green light. Think about it. These institutions are smart. They want to get positioned now while XRP is still affordable, just like smart retail investors do. They're not late to the party. They're early to the real party that's about to begin. So Dark Defender just dropped an update saying our structure is still rock solid. He's basically telling us that we're about to see a major breakout very soon, and that the XRP rally is officially starting now. But here's the thing. We've been hearing this same message all year long, haven't we? And honestly, I get why people keep saying it, because when you look at XRP's chart, it's absolutely insane how bullish it looks. Seriously, you glance at that chart and your first thought is probably, I need to load up on more XRP right now. It's hands down one of the most bullish charts in the entire crypto space at the moment. The chart is practically screaming that a breakout is coming. But here's the million-dollar question. Nobody can pinpoint exactly when it's going to kick off. My gut still says December is our month. Now here's what could really light the fuse under this market and send XRP to the moon. Scarcity. But there's a problem. We're flying blind on the real numbers. We have no clue how much XRP is sitting at those over-the-counter desks or hiding in dark pools. When does that supply actually run out? And more importantly, when are these ETF issuers going to have to turn to the regular exchanges to buy their XRP? Because the second that happens, and I mean the exact moment they start competing for XRP on the open market, everything changes in a heartbeat. It's going to be so fast that people won't even see it coming. One day, XRP will just explode in price out of nowhere. Franklin Templeton just dropped some huge news. They've launched a brand new ETF, and guess what? XRP is officially in the lineup. I've got to say, I'm really loving this basket they put together. They're calling it the Easy Peasy Crypto Index ETF, which is honestly a pretty catchy name. And XRP is sitting right there alongside the heavy hitters. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, Cardano, Dogecoin, and Stellar. I'm especially excited to see XLM, Stellar, made it into the mix too. That's a smart addition. Now here's what's really interesting. This means we now have two XRP-backed products in the market, and trust me, that's not happening by accident. This is exactly how the quiet accumulation phase begins, people. What I love most about this approach is that it's not putting all its eggs in one crypto basket. A lot of these big institutions want exposure to multiple cryptocurrencies, but they don't want the headache of buying a bunch of different individual ETFs. So this easy-peasy ETF is like their one-stop shop. They can get instant exposure to all these major assets in one simple purchase. It's brilliant, really. They're making it super convenient for institutions to diversify across the top cryptos without all the complexity. This is exactly the kind of mainstream adoption we've been waiting for.
All right, this is some seriously exciting news. XRP ETF inflows have just smashed through the $756 million mark, and we're seeing some technical signals that could mean a major trend reversal is coming. Here's what's got me really pumped up. Spot XRP ETFs have been seeing money flowing in for 11 straight days. That's almost 2 weeks of consistent buying pressure from institutions and investors. But wait, it gets even better. While this has been happening, the RSI indicator on XRP's price charts has been forming what's called a bullish divergence. For those who might not know what that means, basically, while the price might look flat or even slightly down, the underlying momentum is actually getting stronger. It's like a coiled spring getting ready to pop. This combination of massive ETF inflows and bullish divergence is exactly the kind of setup that makes traders get really excited about what could happen next. When you see institutional money flowing in consistently while the technicals are setting up for a reversal, that's when things can get really interesting really fast.
So these were the early warning signs that a major rally was building up behind the scenes. And now we can see exactly how much money has been pouring into these ETFs. It's absolutely incredible. Here's my prediction. I think we're going to blast past the billion-dollar mark before this week is even over. Think about that for a second. That's $1 billion, which represents about 1% of XRP's entire supply, now locked up in these ETFs. And here's the kicker. I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. We've still got other ETFs waiting in the wings to go live, which means even more institutional money is about to flood in. Every single dollar that flows into these ETFs is literally taking XRP off the market and out of circulation. It's like watching supply disappear in real time. And you know what happens when supply keeps shrinking while demand keeps growing, right? That's when scarcity starts to kick in. And that's when prices can really start to move in a big way. We're basically watching the setup for a perfect storm. Massive institutional buying, shrinking available supply, and more ETFs still to come. This is exactly the kind of dynamic that creates those explosive price movements everyone's been waiting for. This is absolutely huge news! Bank of America just officially told their wealth management clients that they should put 1 to 4% of their portfolios into crypto. We're talking about one of the biggest banks in America completely changing their tune on digital assets. This is massive, and I think I know exactly why this is happening right now. Remember what went down with Vanguard? I think Bank of America saw that and said, we can't afford to be left behind. This is exactly what I've been telling you would happen. It's going to be a domino effect, a total network effect. Once one major player makes the move, everyone else scrambles to get in on the action. All it takes is one big bank to break the ice. All it takes is one major asset manager to give crypto the green light. And boom! Suddenly everyone wants a piece of the pie because they don't want to miss out on the opportunity. That's exactly what we're seeing unfold right in front of us. Bank of America just became that domino that's going to knock down all the others. When a bank this size officially endorses crypto allocations, you know other institutions are having emergency meetings right now, figuring out their own crypto strategies. This is how mainstream adoption happens, not gradually, but all at once when the fear of missing out kicks in. Everyone was completely shocked when Vanguard made their move. But honestly, I wasn't surprised at all. I saw this coming from a mile away. This insight comes from Smoke, and he nailed it. He pointed out that last year, it was already obvious that Vanguard was going to get involved in digital assets eventually. The writing was literally on the wall. It was right there in their documentation from last year. He makes a great point. I personally wouldn't count out Vanguard since they're the second biggest player in the ETF game, right behind BlackRock. But here's what's really interesting. Vanguard was already a direct participant in those Swift blockchain trials,
and they were front and center in presentations with Ripple. They've been working behind the scenes this whole time. The difference is, they're just not Bitcoin maximalists like everyone else. That's why you don't see them out there making all the flashy announcements and riding the mainstream media hype train. Vanguard is playing a completely different game. They're not chasing the Bitcoin narrative. They're looking at the bigger picture. They see the real disruption coming. They know a brand new financial system is being built from the ground up, and that's what they want to position themselves for. That's exactly why they couldn't care less about Bitcoin hype. They're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, focusing on the infrastructure that's going to power the future of finance. But like I mentioned at the start of this video, I'm not going to be that person jumping up and down screaming, "This is it! This is the moment we've all been waiting for!" I always like to give the market 24 to 48 hours to show me what it's really going to do. And honestly, all we've done so far is recover, and it wasn't even a complete recovery yet. Here's what I want to see to get really excited. I need us to break back above $2.20 and start pushing toward $2.30. Even better, I'd love to see XRP climb above $2.50 by next week. That would give me a solid signal that we're building real upward momentum that could carry us through the rest of December. I'm still seeing tons of people calling for all-time highs this month, and you know what? The breakout is going to happen exactly when nobody expects it. It's literally going to come out of left field and catch everyone off guard. That's exactly why I keep telling you, on those scary red days, either buy the dip or just sit tight and do nothing. But whatever you do, never sell on a red day. You'll kick yourself the moment the market bounces back, just like we saw happen right now. You could see the manipulation clear as day, though. Everyone panicked and sold right at the bottom, and today they're all scrambling to buy back in on Bitcoin. But here's the thing about Bitcoin. I've watched it look super bullish way too many times this cycle, only to get let down when they crash it again. I want to see Bitcoin actually push toward a new all-time high before I get too excited and say, "We're officially back!" Until that happens, here's the game plan. Stay patient, stay positive, and let's build wealth together. Alright everyone, that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for watching and for all your support. It means the world to me. I'll catch you in the next one. Have an amazing night.